Chapel, and he's going to be giving us his speech number 8 on the competent communicator, which the objective of it is to become comfortable using visual aids. Well, things that we're going to look for is he has to select visual aids that are appropriate for his message and learn the value of props in speaking and use them efficiently. His speech is named MISO's response to FERC order number 899?
809.
809. So we approving that MISO is not acting on a chicanery way. And the purpose of it is an attempt by FERC to bring the natural gas and the electric operating days to work more closer. In order, since the electric generation is relying more on the use or depending on the use of natural gas. With that, I welcome Doug to the podium.
Thank you. Well, as this turns out, we're going to be in real good shape.
Game on.
But I thought this was Power Up Morning. There it is. All right, cash money. All right, thank you, Luis, and good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Coming to you this morning to talk about MISO's response to FERC Order 809. And I'm guessing a lot of people have no idea what any of that is, so let's get into a little bit of background. Well, as Luis mentioned, there are a number of factors in the utility industry that are contributing to an increasing percentage of electric generation that relies on natural gas as its fuel. And the two big things are, number one, natural gas is cheap and it's very abundant, it's increasingly abundant in the United States due to hydraulic fracturing. And second, various economic and especially environmental factors are forcing coal generation out over the next handful of years. And that coal generation will by and large be replaced with natural gas. Unlike with coal, though, where you can store weeks and weeks of fuel on site, the nature of natural gas is such that you pretty much have to have natural gas coming in a just-in-time delivery kind of way. It has to come in on the pipeline as you need it. And that raises concerns regarding reliability and market volatility if gas cannot be delivered to the generator at the appropriate time. So if your supply chain for coal is interrupted, well, that's okay, we have a big pile of coal out back. If the supply chain for gas is interrupted, in pretty quick order, you can have a power plant with no fuel to run on. Due to this, a number of parties, most importantly FERC as the federal regulator, have sought solutions that will ensure gas is available in a stable way. To that end, after months and months of various stakeholder discussions, FERC this past April issued order number 809. And the two things that order really did is, number one, it created a new gas operating day. It took the old gas operating day and set a new schedule for it. The second thing it did was it directed operators of electric markets, particularly independent system operators like MISO, of which Consumers Energy is a member, it directed those electric organizations to modify their electric operating days to line up with this new gas operating day, or possibly make a filing to show that no change in the electric day is necessary. So that's your background on what's going on in here, but it's much better illustrated with a fairly complicated chart. Yes. Thank you. There's your joke of the day. All right. So order 809 sets up this natural gas operating day, and you have a current gas day, which is just whatever day you're in, and that operates between 10 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern time. And within the current day, there are these 3 diamonds. Each of these diamonds represents what's called an intraday nominating cycle, and those take place, as you can see, at 11 a.m., 2:30 p.m., and I wish these weren't in military time, but 8 p.m. And at each of those, so each of these purple diamonds, natural gas customers can make some adjustments to how their gas is being delivered. The next gas day, i.e. what's going to happen tomorrow, that is also planned in advance. And that's planned in advance using these 2 green diamonds here, the timely nomination and the evening nomination, which under Order 809 will take place at 2 p.m. and at 7 p.m. So these 2 nomination deadlines are where anyone who's going to be purchasing natural gas on an interstate pipeline, including a power plant, this is where they get their gas for the next gas day. Okay, so this is what the gas day is going to be starting next April. Then we have to compare this to how MISO's operating day currently works. And what you have on the electric side then is an electric day which runs from midnight to midnight Eastern time. And right now that electric day for tomorrow is set today using this process right here. There's a day-ahead market clearing operation which runs between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. and then the next day forward reliability assessment and commitment, which takes place between 4 and 8 right now. And so the way this works is that every day at 11 a.m. every electric generator in MISO has to offer in its bid for what it's going to do tomorrow. And then by 3 p.m. it knows whether it's going to be dispatched to generate or not. And then a similar thing happens in this lighter blue box for the forward reliability assessment and commitment. What's the problem with this? The problem with this is that you see these red dashed lines there. A generator doesn't know whether it's going to run tomorrow until after the deadline for getting tomorrow's gas has already come and gone. So if you're a generator, you have to essentially buy your gas for tomorrow before you know whether you're going to need it or not. And this is a real problem. So MISO has come up with this proposal to make things work better. You'll see here that the gas day is still the same, because this is what FERC has mandated. And tomorrow's electric day is still the same. But what MISO proposes to do is 2 things. One, you'll see that each of these are now 3 hours long instead of 4. They propose to make a variety of process improvements to shorten those times from 4 hours to 3 hours. But the real key is that the day-ahead market clearing would now run from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So it will be done before this 2 p.m. gas nomination deadline. But the key thing is that bids for tomorrow, rather than being due at 11 a.m., will now be due at 10 a.m. to make this all work. Seems very reasonable? Well, a lot of people have concerns about that. In fact, the vast majority of MISO stakeholders do. And Jeff made an offhand remark to Rick Blumenstock a minute ago, and his group is the group that's in charge of doing this with our gas-fired generators. And I have no doubt that this would be one issue where Rick would insist that MISO is engaged in a little chicanery, or chicanery, if you prefer. The problem here is that the earlier in the morning you require generators to make their bids, the less information they know about what they're going to need for tomorrow. So I think you'll see that this is a very complicated issue, and if you went to a MISO meeting, they would discuss this for at least a half hour, not a 5 to 7 minute window that I'm going to run over on. The point is that aligning these 2 days is in fact extremely difficult. And where it's going to go really remains to be seen. One reason why I chose this is because this is a very hot issue, as we would say. This FERC order came out in April, and MISO is required to make its final proposal to FERC by July 23rd. So in fact, this is an issue that even right now, this week, is and next week is really dominating the MISO stakeholder process. So how this ends up being resolved, we won't know until July, but it's one thing that makes trying to work with the MISO market so exciting because it's always changing. So I think in terms of what the conclusion is for this, it will be another couple of months before we know, and maybe by then I'll be into my advanced communicator bronze, and this would be a good topic for another speech. So with that, thank you very much. I hope you I have a question slide, but I don't think we're going to have to take questions. That's what a natural gas power plant looks like, though, if you don't know. And thank you very much.